the Sonic Adventure commentary with me, Skully the Metalhead. I apologise if I come off as a little bit dour this time. Just trying to get back into the swing of things, and I'm still a little bit sick, so yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, today we get into Tails' story, and there are plenty of cutscenes which will hopefully avoid me coughing or talking a lot, so, yeah, enjoy this.
Everything's working great! All systems go, full speed ahead! Uh-oh! What's this?
Boy, you're lucky I saw you come down. So what went wrong anyway? It's not like you to crash like that.
Yeah, it's just that I'm testing a new prototype power supply, and it's not fully compatible yet.
You can always borrow my plane, the Tornado, if you want.
Thanks, Sonic. But if I can make this work, it'll run circles around yours. Check out this power supply!
It's a Chaos Emerald! No way!
I was lucky to find one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. They have unlimited mystic powers. Now I want to harness that power to fly my plane. Let's go to my workshop in the Mystic Ruins and I'll show you what I've been working on. We'll go to the station, hop on a train, and get there in no time.
So yeah, something you probably noticed throughout Tails' is a little segment right there, is that even though the cutscene is essentially the exact, well, almost the exact same way as it was in Sonic's story, yeah, there was a slight difference in dialogue here, which I believe, I can't quite remember what the term itself is actually called, but I believe it's called something similar to the campfire effect, which is basically what happens when, I think it's, you tell the exact same story but from a different perspective. And I really like how Sonic Adventure subtly uses that here. Like, as in, the dialogue is changed because it's from Tails' perspective this time, but at the same time, however, it isn't exactly exaggerated, so to speak. Like, I mean, it isn't exaggerated to the point where everybody's... excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. It's not exactly exaggerated to the point where it becomes parody, which is, again, had this been done, you know, now, or at the very least around like 2013 or whatever, that probably would have been a likely case of what would have happened with Sonic Adventure, but I really love its usage here. It's done to the point where it feels, and again, something you'll notice actually in the upcoming cutscene, but it's used to great effect here, and that's part of the reason why I really love how Sonic Adventure tells its story, and I will point this out the more we go on in the game, but I just really enjoy how it's used here. But in any case, differences in gameplay I'll probably talk about in a little bit. But yeah, Tails can fly. Wee.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Sonic and Tails.
It's Eggman!
Silence! I am Dr. Robotnik, the most cunning scientific genius in the world!
Yeah, right, Dr. Eggman.
Enough! I've been working on a master plan, but now it's time to put it to work!
That usually means trouble coming from you.
Don't even try to interfere this time.
Give me that Chaos Emerald, or else...
Or else what, huh?
Or else I'll take it from you the hard way.
again, I really love that cutscene in particular, because I believe, to me, that's probably one of the greatest examples of using the campfire effect to its full potential, especially with Tails, because in that cutscene right there, Tails acts with a little bit more bravado. Eggman actually acknowledges Tails. And especially in that cutscene in particular, it really puts the focus on Tails as the protagonist. Like, instead of him going, "Mwahaha, if it isn't Sonic," it's instead, well, if it isn't Sonic and Tails. You know, and Tails himself actually acts with a lot more gusto, like, as if he's the main character and Sonic is the goofy sidekick. Well, I say goofy for the lack of a better phrase, but it's just used to great effect here. Like, I mean, Sonic doesn't exactly take center stage in this version of the story, as you'll also see with the ending cutscene shortly. It's just something that's done to great effect, and it's brilliant. The boss fight here has actually changed someone that you can't really cheese the homing attack. It's still the same basic sort of fighting principles, really. And well, really just kind of gives you a taste of what Tails can do with his tail attack and with his twin tails. Jesus.
Yeah! That was just too easy!
Gotcha!
Hey, he snagged it!
Chaos could use a little snack.
Who's Chaos?
That's the monster I saw the other day.
Monster?
Yes, it's really happening. Just as the stone tablet said it would. Hear this, Sonic! Chaos' strength increases every time I give him a Chaos Emerald. All he needs is 7 emeralds to become invincible. Then he will turn Station Square into rubble, upon which I will build the ultimate city, Robotnik Land. You ready, Chaos? Let's go find the next step. Come on.
Thank goodness they're gone! Good riddance!
We can't let that monster get any bigger. It could get ugly.
You're right! Chaos must be stopped! And he can be if we keep him away from more emeralds, right? So what do you say, Sonic? Let's find the Chaos Emeralds before Eggman does!
So yeah. Again, Tails' story takes a very similar setup to Sonic's story, but again, it's intentionally done that way. For those of you who've played the game before, you probably know what I'm talking about, but for those of you who don't, there's a reason why Tails seems to mimic Sonic's story quite a bit. And another interesting thing about it is that while there are a lot of similar cutscenes, you know, that were already seen in Sonic's story, there is a little bit more attention to detail put into Tails' story. And I mostly say this in terms of, you know, using not only the campfire effect, but also adding to Tails' character in and of itself, and that's something we'll get to in the later cutscenes, but as it stands right now, it mimics Sonic's story in a... And again, I'm not necessarily sure if this is a genius bit of writing on Akinori Nishiyama's part, or if it was something that just kind of unintentionally happened because of, you know, gameplay and everything. It's a very subtle way of portraying Tails' story arc throughout the entire game, which is something that I can very much appreciate. Anyway, since we have a long stretch of gameplay coming up, I will talk about the gameplay mechanics. Rather than, you know, having a similar setup to how Sonic and Knuckles did so, this game instead puts Tails in the position of more of a racing sort of gameplay. And not racing in the same sense of Sonic R, but rather in the sense of, you are Tails. You have his ability to fly, you have the tailspin, and, well, you can move quite quickly on your own. Your goal is to defeat Sonic in a race. And that's usually just getting to the end of the stage and hitting the animal capsule or getting the Chaos Emerald in the case it is here. Now, typically in these stages, you'll have like a lot of boosters, and you'll also have to deal with cheap rubber band AI, which I don't think you should worry about personally, because, I mean, unless of course you're completely dawdling and acting slack, Sonic should never really catch up to you, and even in many cases, I think he will slow down if you are getting too far behind. I mean, he won't slow down forever, obviously, but he will, you know, slow down enough for the first-time player to catch up and, you know, beat him. And it's a style of gameplay that I feel does really fit, because, I mean, if there was the normal style of gameplay for Tails as it was in Sonic and Knuckles, in 3D, Tails would absolutely break the stage, which again, I guess people could justify saying, oh yeah, but it's meant to be an easy mode. I don't know, it still doesn't really have a sense of foundation to it, is what I'm saying. Or at the very least for Tails' abilities. Which is part of the reason why I really don't agree with the whole idea that people want a Sonic Adventure 3, if only for the sake of having every character play like Sonic but with a few bells and whistles added to it. And I know that's a very controversial statement to make, especially given that a lot of people want a more focused Sonic game, even though we arguably had that with Forces, you know, going with a generation style of gameplay, but it's a very controversial statement. It's something that'll probably end up making me a lot of enemies for making it, because I'm one of few people who apparently enjoyed the next stages. And again, it's not as if I'm entirely adverse to the concept itself, it's just something that I don't necessarily agree with, for reasons that I'll state by the end of Tails' story, but in turn also for something that I feel is more of my personal belief, that then again the Sonic series has become so fragmented in terms of story that it probably wouldn't really matter anymore, but I don't know, it matters to me. In any case, Casinopolis differs from its counterpart in the sense that you're not necessarily working to get a bunch of rings, you're more so doing this as another racing stage, which again I guess people would probably prefer, but in any case. Things that I didn't cover before in Windy Valley would probably be the jet anklet, which I actually covered earlier, but I didn't talk about because I had other things to say. Excuse me. The jet anklet allows Tails to fly faster, and again it's quite a useful tool to have, especially with some of the B missions, which I'll probably cover now for the sake of it. Typically, in Sonic Adventure, you get emblems, which, again, you're not ranked in the same sense as you are in games from Sonic Adventure 2 onwards. The ranking system works as more of a tiered mission section. You know, usually rank C will have you do the main plot mission, and, you know, rank B will usually be something akin to, you know, play the stage again except have 50 rings, and rank A would usually be something like get the stage done within 2 minutes, or beat an even faster Sonic, or, you know, something or other. It's a very interesting way of handling it, and something I kind of prefer because I don't really see the point in rankings or anything, it's just pointless bragging rights, really.
What's that? The Chaos Emerald!
Get away from there!
Ah!
Nighty-night!
Eggman! Sonic, what happened to the Chaos Emerald?
Eggman got one of them, but the other one's safe. He must be getting desperate.
Now the Emerald count is 2-1 and Eggman's winning! Let's get a move on!
Seriously, just look at him, he's just taking control of the situation, which... it just kind of gives me flashes to a character that really should have been. You know, had the Sonic series actually adhered to continuity, which sadly isn't really a thing anymore. And that kind of depresses me, to be honest. God, excuse me, I'm sorry if you're hearing me sniffle, but that's the bane of having a cold, I suppose. God, it sounded kind of like Tom64 when he was recording the Matrix Path of Neo commentary. Never thought I'd have one of those moments, but there you go, a bit of trivia from my days of watching Hellfire Comms back in 2009, 2008. Good times. Anyway, now again, I'd say Tails' story, despite following closely to Sonic's, is actually more of an abridged version of it, and it's quite a good recreation of it, to be honest, because it gets through the stuff that we already know quicker since you are forced to play as Sonic first off before unlocking the characters as you play. But in turn though, it also does allow people like, oh, I don't like alternate gameplay styles in Sonic to, you know, get a sense of familiarity and then kind of ease them into the next gameplay style. Which I guess is something that, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 didn't really have, because it only had 3 consecutive gameplay styles that vastly differed. Excuse me. But, you know, I think the way Sonic Adventure does it is pretty fun in and of itself, because you unlock Tails, second of all, you get him right after Emerald Coast, so that's pretty fantastic. Yeah, this isn't even a stage at all, you get the action set piece, which is why I love how abridged Tails' story is. Gets out all the stuff we already know, and just basically gets us to the good stuff, which is the bulk of Tails' story, which we'll be mostly covering in the next part. In fact, I'm actually kind of glad that this part was as decent as it was, because it means I don't really have to focus that much. My brain is a little bit messed up and tired right now, so I apologize if my commentary isn't really that interesting, or if I sound like a complete dick. But such things come with illness, my friend. You also get Sonic acting like an encouraging after-school special. He goes, hooray! Ugh, I don't know. Ryan Drummond, it's cheese-tastic. I really do like the voice cast now that I think about it. I don't know if I went too into detail on this. I know I did for the review. Still have yet to film, but I need to get better first. The voice cast I actually do really like a lot. In fact, in terms of the English dub, this is probably my favourite voice cast, even in spite of some shaky lines here. Sonic, Eggman, Knuckles, and Amy's voice especially I love in this game. Or at least for the Dreamcast era, so to speak. Especially Tails' voice actor, Corey Bringus. I really like what he does with the role here. Like, I mean, yeah, he does fumble on sublines here and there, but in essence, though, like, I mean, considering that he was an actual kid at the time... excuse me. Fuck. God, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, but considering he was an actual kid at the time when recording these, I'm quite surprised he turns in the decent performance that he does. Like, I mean, he does have... As I said before, he does have some fumbled lines, but for the most part, he actually does a pretty decent job, and you don't get that in a lot of child actors, and most especially in the case of Sonic Heroes, the voices only get worse from here. Although it's not that Connor Bringus' brother they got for Sonic Adventure 2 does a bad job either, but I'll cover that more when we get to the Sonic Adventure 2 review. Hopefully around February or March of this year. I'm really fucking pissed off that I got sick, because I really didn't want to delay these reviews. Such is life when you get sick and you have work and shit to do. Yeah, that just really pisses me off sometimes. Hope to God the audio sounds okay too. Like, I mean, I know I'm stifling a lot and that's something that can't really be helped, but I do hope that I'm at least getting some decent coverage, because before I sensed a bit of audio bleeding because the computer was right there and I needed it to kind of give me a bit of a visual reference for the footage that I'm showing, so... God. Jesus, I'm so sorry, I'm probably completely disgusting you right now, but... yeah. Yeah, you can't access, there are actually some areas of the game that you can't really access at specific points. Like, I mean, usually if you go through there, you can access the Angel Island and the Master Emerald Altar, even though we actually are on Angel Island right now. Like, that's why the gust of wind blows you upward. I don't know, there's a really weird structure to Sonic Adventure. Like, I mean, everything in Angel Island Zone is still technically there. Like from, you know, Sonic and Knuckles, but it's a bit different.
Hey, Knuckles! What's up? What are you doing, Knuckles?
Don't mess with me now. Just hand over the emeralds you have. Quick!
No way, Knuckles!
Okay, from this point on, it's basically just going to be cutscenes, so on that note, I'm Skully, keeping new metal. And next time on Sonic Adventure Commentary, we will be tackling Chaos 4, and then we'll be tackling the meat of Tails' story. So, hopefully I'll feel better when we record the next parts, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Whoa! Oh no, the emeralds!
And they're all mine.
Eggman's back! He's got the emeralds!
You two are fumbling idiots. You know that.
Hey, those are the Chaos Emeralds.
You are so easily tricked. All I did was wait for you to bring it to me.
What the heck is he talking about anyway?
Don't you realize when you've been tricked?
Tricked? No one makes a fool out of me.
Way to go, knucklehead!
4! Count them! 4 emeralds! I summon chaos! Come forth! Eat up!